Hey gang, Ambersill here. As you can see, I'm playing in a Tier 10 match. I'm in the Tier 9 Östergötland. A destroyer that I think is very fun. I like the Holland as well at Tier 10. It's super fun and it's a better ship. But something about this ship has just kept me playing it. I think probably it's because I've had a fair number of teams that that made trying to secure a win especially challenging. So my win percentage in this thing is 51 or 52%. I'd like to get that up to 55% if possible. So that's part of why I continue to play the ship, but it's also that it's a very fun ship to play. You know, the torpedoes have a 13.5 kilometer range. They're very fast. The AA is not as good as the Holland, of course, what is, but you know, it's respectable for what it is. Taking a look at the matchmaking, well, as is so often the case, it's ugly. There's an Alexander Nevsky and a Petropavlovsk, both with 12 kilometer radar. That gives me a kilometer and a half to work with as far as my torpedo range, which is more than a lot. You know, I played the Shimakaze a lot, and that's only got 12 kilometers of range, which makes it even tougher. I also play, well, I played these high-tier destroyers quite a bit. Harugumo, Shima, some Daring, Z-52, all of them basically. I recently got the Kleber, not a fan. It just can't do much with torpedoes, and it's kind of neutered in my opinion since the CB rework, because it doesn't have decent AA, does not have the ability to get away. It's really hard to be effective with that ship. So if you're on a potatoey team, you're pretty much guaranteed a loss no matter what you do. Now back to this game. And that's just my opinion. You know, your mileage may vary. You might have a different opinion. In this game, got Chungmu. Maybe he has radar, but probably not on the enemy team. Östergötland, Harugumo. And although it's not a destroyer, technically, the Neptune can be played like a destroyer. The detection range on it, it's not terrible for a cruiser. It has smoke. It has nice torpedoes. And fairly rapid-firing guns. So it's definitely a threat as well. Fortunately, there are no CVs in this match. It's not that it's impossible to win in a CV match, it's just, it limits what you can do a little bit more, because you have to kind of play around staying out of sight of the aircraft as much as possible, especially in a ship like this that does not have smoke. And without smoke, you don't have the ability to you know, go invisible essentially and make the CV player think maybe he should spend his time somewhere else. Now I decided to push into the cap here because seeing the Sovietsky Soyuz and the Friedrich de Grosse moving that direction, my guess was that probably their whatever destroyer they had out in front of them probably went that way. And it looks to me like my radio position finder or radio location or whatever they're calling it now, the indicator, kind of confirms that. Our Kitakaze is, he's in a dangerous spot being out there in the middle like that. Trying to make sure I stay in the cap long enough to secure it. You can see I've got help now. I've got the GK and the Smolensk down there. Now, 13.5 kilometer range on the torps. If the Sovietsky Soyuz and the Friedrich de Grosse keep moving the way that they're moving, I might be able to get torpedoes on them, but my guess is they're probably going to stop behind that island. I would. My guess is, you know, if I were playing one of those ships, my guess would be, oh, okay, the destroyer that got into A fairly early, he's probably just going to push north, and we don't have anything up there, so we just need to get the hell out of Dodge. And that's what they're doing. They're just running. Now, these torps are blisteringly fast. They run at 90 kilometers. Run to 90 knots, excuse me, and they can probably catch up even at this range. So I'm going to throw them out there and we'll see. These guys know they're in trouble and they just keep running. So we're 4.5, almost 5 minutes in. Neither team has lost a ship. We've got 2 camps, the enemy team's only got 1. And although there's a lot of game left to play, It's looking pretty decent right now. I'm not crazy about our positioning on the other flank. I'm not sure why our gearing ran. I'm guessing it was radar related. But radar doesn't last forever, and even if they're chaining their radar, I just really feel like our gearing should have stayed in a position to be able to help and spot torps. I'm not blaming him for what happened, but you can see that our guys, we lost 2 ships over there in short order. Now that's 5 torpedo hits, 5 minutes, 20 seconds in. And I have a lot of ships kind of all bunched up here. So I'm anticipating, if I'm lucky, getting a chance to land quite a few more. I didn't realize at this point, of course, that this game was going to be the most torpedoes I've landed in a game ever. But I did feel pretty good about my chances about scoring more torpedo hits just because of where these ships are located and where I'm at relative to them. And right about now I'm thinking, oh, Panzerboss, this is not going to be a pleasant experience for you. Okay, so our team has its first kill. We're down 3 ships, they're down 1. We still have a 2 cap to 1 advantage, but we lose our gearing and our Minotaur. And just like that, we're down 4 ships, and they're down only 1. Now, I can probably continue to push these battleships all the way across the map, I'm thinking, at this point. And I have to hope that keeping them on the run like this is limiting their chances of putting shells on people that, on my team. If I can get them to run another square or 2 in that direction, then that island by our friendly Kitakaze is going to start offering some cover to our guys so they're not getting citadeled by these guys that are sitting so far north up here. Our positioning right now is not good. You can see we've got a lot of our guys in the center. Our De Grosso was out there by himself. He goes down. I'm really hoping to see the team spread out a little bit. You can see what I put in the chat. Just set up to defend B. No reason to push. I was really kind of hoping to see maybe Neptune get on the west side of the island down there by the Lion, if you're looking at the minimap, and wait for them to try to push into B. Our Kitakaze manages to finish off the enemy Harugumo. Now they're down 3 ships. We're down 5. This is still looking winnable. We've got 2 caps, and it's a game of map control. So as it stands right now, I think we're doing fairly well. Our Kurfürst is he's pushing north, and he's pushing into Yoshino, De Grossa, and Soviet Soyuz. He's not going to be able to use the island for cover against them, so he has to angle up against them. I was hoping that everybody might target this Yoshino, but I know he's wiggly and he's hard to hit, so they're firing on targets of opportunity. Now, I haven't put any torpedoes in the water in a while because, at this range, I'm not sure I'd hit anything. I want to make sure I can keep these guys spotted for my team. I'm hoping it right now in the game. I'm hoping our Kurfürst will be able to finish off their De Grosse, and we'll see. Kitakaze goes down to the Soyuz. He got spotted by the Östergötland, the enemy Östergötland. So, yeah, what are you gonna do? Now I was really hoping here that the De Grosse would continue to push out, or continue to head that way and accelerate forward.
All stations, concentrate fire on that target.
That's why I led so far ahead. I'm going to get down here and hope that I can get some torpedo shots on something. If I get detected with that Yoshino behind me, it could go very badly, so I have to be really careful.
We sank their battleship.
And that's why I turned back to the north. So, the enemy team's down 4 ships. We're down 6 ships. We still have a cap advantage. But looking at our positioning, it's not going to last very long. We've got our Sovietsky Soyuz. He's out there to meet the enemy Alsace. But Neptune and Lion both ran to the center. And although we've got the island in the middle of B, that's not going to afford them a whole lot of cover. And they're probably just, although I'm not looking at it right now, they're probably just getting pummeled. I'm too far away to be sure I can hit that guy. But he's moving this way, so I'm gonna chance it. If he slows down at all or turns hard or anything, they're gonna miss. But I got to do something. I don't want to get radared. I think Nevsky's moving this way to be able to do that. And our Kurfürst takes down the Petropavlovsk. So we're down 6 ships, they're down 5. We still have a 2 cap to 1 advantage, and you can see we have a commanding lead of well over 200 points. I was really hoping that our team would focus the Alsace, and maybe they did. But right now we've got basically 4 of our remaining ships in essentially 1 square. And that's very rarely going to go well. Meanwhile, that's torpedo hits 13, 14, and 15. But as you can see, the torpedoes on these pan-European destroyers, they just don't do a whole heck of a lot of damage. And right now I'm concerned about getting radared by the Nevsky. Granted, I have full hit points. Granted, I still have 3 heals. But I've got a Yoshino out there and a Nevsky who can radar me. So I'm really hoping that our team will be able to finish off that Nevsky. I'm throwing torpedoes out there in the hope that he's going to run through that gap. If he turns south, I'll probably miss with everything. And I'm trying to leave myself the possibility that if Nevsky does radar, that I can get out of radar range before I get sunk. Now he's heading south, which is really helping me out a lot. I'm now out of radar range. And I'm watching my team and I'm thinking, man, it's just a question of time, because they've got the Conqueror down there, the Alsace down there. The Alsace is probably going to finish our Soyuz. And if he doesn't, Neptune's going to be right there with torpedoes. And Conqueror is just right behind him as well. 5 more torpedo hits, that puts me up to 20. Pretty happy with that, but Conqueror finishes off that Sovietsky Soyuz, and now all of our guys are kind of in a straight line to the enemy. They've got our Kurfürst, Smolensk, Neptune, and Lion. Maybe they didn't have a choice. Maybe they had to avoid getting broadside. I don't know, but looking at it from here, it looks really bad. Really bad. Lion goes down. I don't have a choice. I have to move in here. I'm going to have to try to get into the Charlie camp and just do what I can. The guns on the Östergötland. You got 2 turrets with 2 small caliber guns. Yeah, the rate of fire is not bad, but if I have to face off with a Yoshino or a Nevsky or a Neptune, I'm not going to last long. Torpedoes are the strength of this ship, and I'm going to have to get close now. I was really hoping Yoshino would keep going in a straight line. I might have been able to get him.
Attention, reporting a target's position.
Landed 2 out of the 8 that got sent out. And I'm looking at their Sovietsky Soyuz and I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's an opportunity for me with guns. Their Nevsky's almost dead. I have some room to push up. He's far enough away where I can't get radared. I've got to watch the Yoshino. I was really hoping Yoshino would continue pushing forward. But as you can see, he's headed back this way. Now I want to get torps on the Yoshino. Our crew first goes down. We're down to 2 ships.
The enemy is about to win.
Yeah, the enemy is about to win. Our lead is gone. There's still 5 minutes left. Yeah, this is not pretty. Torping isn't going to work here. He's turning.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
I'm sure going to turn to the starboard side. Yeah. So, as fast as these torps are, they'd have to be basically laser beams to get there. So I'm hoping maybe I can finish him with guns, and that's all I'm doing is just closing to do that. I'm saving the torps because if Yoshino pops up around a corner here, I want to be able to throw them in his face. Otherwise, I would maybe have just, thrown them in through these gaps in the hope of hitting somebody. Our Smolensk is doing all that he can, but he's up there all by himself. There's only so much he's going to be able to do. And Nevsky's pushing up there to, presumably to radar. And I'm going to get the guns going now. I fired just as Yoshino got detected. I did not launch those torps very well, and you can see I lost a lot of hit points right there. And I'm going to lose more. I just got to hope I can finish this guy off, keep myself in the game.
Enemy battleship sunk.
Yoshino is just right there in my face. Yeah, that definitely hurt. Well, you can see the writing on the wall here. I've got to survive this next blast, and then I might get an opportunity to get torpedoes on him. Maybe. Nevsky is down. We've got 2 ships, they've got 4. I'm in a really bad spot here. I am proximity detected by Yoshino, who still has 45,000 hit points. And I'd probably have to land every torpedo I've got
Engine boost activated.
in order to have any chance. He's angled against my torpedoes, but he is swinging his tail end around. He knocked out a torpedo tube, only temporarily, but it means I was not able to get both tubes away, sets of tubes. So that was it, and I've got to wait 45 seconds until I can reload torpedoes. This does not look good. Our Smolensk is still in the game, but
You're the last one standing.
not anymore. I've got to get out of proximity detection because some of these guys can just fire right over that island. And you can see the scoreboard. So I'm going to say, I had a great game. It was super fun to play. I love this ship. Just didn't end the way I hoped. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.